So today we're working on drawing some sketches, and the goal with these sketches is to figure out how we want to design this tower to be both strong and yet efficient, light. So I just wanted to show you how to draw some things. Certainly you can draw different sketches, but I wanted to show you some techniques that I use. So here I've drawn a tower. I went ahead and did that. Mine's showing here what I call the Z shapes. They're kind of like a Z, just showing the diagonals going up through here. But when you look at this tower, what I did when I drew this one is I made them evenly spaced. The distance from here to here is the same as from here to here, and here, and here, and here, the whole way. They're evenly spaced. And so you notice what happens, these diagonals get steeper and steeper and steeper as we go up the tower. I'd like to draw a second sketch, and instead of making them evenly spaced, I'm going to make all of these diagonals 45 degrees and see how that works out. And so let me show you what I do here. I'm just going to draw it right next to this one. I've already identified. I'm going to make I'm using a half scale. So, I mean, it ends up looking like this, but when we actually build it, it'll physically be twice as big as what we're seeing here. So I measured this out. I want my base to be about 16 centimeters wide. So I'm using a half scale. I'm making it 8 centimeters. You can see I made a mark here and a mark here. And I want it to be 60 centimeters tall. So in my half scale is 30 centimeters. So I measured up right along the center line here. And I like to actually go ahead and draw a center line because I make a lot of my measurements from that, even though that's not going to be part of my tower when I'm done. And our towers are going to have a loading block on top, which is 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. So I'm going to make this, again, half scale is 2.5, but I want to center it here. So I'm just going to draw the loading block right on the top here. It looks something like this, 2.5 centimeters, and I'll give it some height so we can see it there. Oh, I did not. This is why we use a ruler. Mr. Bowman can't draw a straight line either. That edge, I guess, isn't super important. And then what I like to do, I don't start with the top of my tower right at the edge of that block. I want it to be in a little bit. So I'm going to start here, and I've identified the bottom where I want the outer edge of that leg to be. And so I just draw a line. This line represents one leg of the tower under the loading block and yet outside of that 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter square. I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side. I think I drew that block out too far. I want to be right here for the leg. And again, we connect these. This is going to be the left leg. Get a little more lead there of my tower. And now, so when I drew the first one, that kind of gives us an envelope. That gives us the sides, the top, and the bottom. And before I draw the horizontals, I want to figure out where these 45s are going to go. And in fact, I'm going to draw those as I go, I think. So what I did here, to draw 45-degree angles, I took an index card here. I cut it into a square, first of all. And then I cut from corner to corner. So that should be a nice 45-degree angle. And I'm going to use that as a tool here to draw what I want to draw. So I'm going to start right up here at the top. There will be a member across the top, not just the block. Let me go ahead and see if I can darken that up here. We'll make a dark line. That represents the member that goes across the top. And then I'm going to draw a diagonal here. And the way I do that, I'm just going to line up. I put my pencil there, and I line up. You can see I'm lining up this edge over here. And I can just draw a 45-degree line. There we go. Now, from that 45 degree, I'm going to draw a horizontal. That's like these horizontals over here. And you can see this tower is going to be very different because I'm drawing all the diagonals at 45 degrees. So I make my horizontal here, right where that left off, and then I'm going to start there and draw another 45. So I touch that. I'm going to notice I'm lining up on the grid line here. Over on this edge is what I'm looking at. And I make another 45-degree angle. I'm going to continue doing that as I work my way down the tower. I'm hoping, and I did check this ahead of time, I think it'll work out pretty close at the bottom. If not, I could adjust my angle or I could adjust my spacing to try and get it to fit. Let's see here. Draw another horizontal. Keep working my way down the tower. Same technique again and again. Oops, wasn't holding that right. I guess cardboard would have worked better to make this square. This index card is a little flimsy, but it'll get the job done. Keep going. Almost there. Got a couple more to go. Line up this edge. Oops. Can't hold it steady. Let's see. I doubt this last one is going to work out perfectly. It was close. Oh man, it is real close. Almost to the corner there. But that last one didn't get to be quite 45, so I'm just going to connect the dots on this last one. There we go. And draw the last horizontal. So now, I drew these two sketches, and the reason I drew two is I want to compare. Which one do I think is going to be better to build? This guy or this guy? I could draw a third one here, and I could try and making them parallel again, but instead of 45 degrees, I could make them steeper and see how that works out as we work down. But you notice here, because they're all parallel, I have small, almost squares at the top, and as we go down the tower, those squares are getting bigger and bigger. They're a little farther apart. Is that the best? We'll have to think about that. Well, anyway, that's how we draw some sketches.